UFC Fight Island 5, still on the island, Moraes and Sandhagen. Another week, another video from myself, guys. Love doing these videos, love providing for all you guys and discussing fights. We got some more winners given out on last week's video. 2-0 for subscribers. That's second time in 3 weeks we've been perfect. We were on Jermaine, their enemy, to win the fight. And we also hit a parlay, 2-fight parlay with Kenny and Luke Bumi. And we got that plus money. So always good when you're giving out plus money parlays. Updated record, let's take a look here, guys. Updated record, best bets stay the same, 72% year to date. Finally, we got over that 40 unit mark. We were hovering around high 30s. We finally got over that 40 unit mark, so let's try to stay up there. Let's try to get to 50 shortly. Just need a couple, very strong weeks to get over there and hopefully in this month. We'll see if it can happen. Remember also, guys, this is all from 1 unit or 0.5 unit plays. This isn't, I usually like to stick to the same units, either one. If I don't love the fight, I'll go 0.5 or maybe sometimes with the parlays. But most of them are plays. So, yeah, over 40 with just 1 unit plays. I think that does speak for itself. Guys, please like and subscribe this video. It helps out me a lot. Click that bell as well so you don't miss out on a video. You don't want to miss any winning plays, right? Also check out systemsportscapping.com, systemsportscapping.com for more information on subscription service. I want to thank everyone who subscribed, all the new subscribers. I do want to thank you. We're on a 10-2 all sports run right now. Remember, I cap all sports. Do I have better sports that I cap at? Yes, I'm. UFC probably would be my best sport. Last year, obviously NFL. We did have an 8-1 NFL week last week, so we're gonna get on track here. It's gonna continue that way. We did have a little slow start, but that's a slow start, right? There's so many weeks left, and last week showed it. And in all other plays, above 60% in all sports. It's MLB, NBA, PGA. So I'm able to cap all sports, not just one here. So check out the website. There are subscription options there. And if you feel free, shoot me an email at systemsportscapping@gmail.com if you want some more information. Let's get right into this UFC Fight Island 5. Marlon Moraes plus 110. 115 you can get it up, depends where you're shopping. Versus Cory Sandhagen minus 130 to minus 140. I think this should be a fun main event, competitive fight, my opinion. We should see all different sorts of fighting styles, in my opinion, in this one. Some stand-up, some ground and grappling. I think Cory may want to mix in some grappling and not just stand with Moraes. So look out for that. Marlon has fought the better competition if you look at it. He has fought the top guys in this division. When Cory stepped up in competition, you've seen what happened in the first round sub by Sterling, right? So when he did step up, you've seen what happened. So you want to be a little cautious there. He was beating other guys. Yes, he was looking good, but when he stepped up, he got dominated in the first round. Now, that could have been, it could be a fluke, and he could come back strong here, yes. But it's not something I'm running to the window on the side here. I was excited for that Sandhagen-Sterling fight. I was leaning Sandhagen in that. I didn't place a bet, but I did lean Sandhagen, and, it just ended so early. I was expecting a lot more in that fight from Cory. I didn't see that one ending that quick. And, I did think Cory, like I said, had a good chance to win that one. Big step in competition for him, as mentioned. Moraes, he's a guy who's very dangerous and one of the best in his division as well. So how is he going to do? We'll see what happens here, right? Moraes is coming off that Aldo win, which, a lot of people thought he may have lost. It's a close fight. It could have gone either way. He did go 3 rounds with the legend. Fairly good. He looked good doing it. I wouldn't say he looked great, but he did get the win. Moraes will be the better striker there with the more power. And Cory's more well-rounded, right? We don't see Moraes on the ground too much. Possibly Cory could go to that. We'll see, though. Cory does have that length on him, so he might use that to his advantage, that lanky length. I think, remember, this is also a 5-round fight, right? Which I think benefits Cory. A 5-round fight would benefit Cory here, just because Moraes' gas tank. His gas tank has been questionable, right? Even in the Aldo fight, he gassed out, and this is only a 3-round fight. This is going to be a 5-round. So what I think is if Sandhagen could get this to the 3rd, 4th, or 5th, it benefits him, and that's where I think he could end this fight and win this fight. Moraes could come out here and just put on the striking early and win in a early finish, like a round 1, 2, even 3. But if this goes later in the fight, I think this benefits Cory. I lean Sandhagen on this on a bounce back, but it's not a pick or a fight that I'm going to be investing in on the side. What I would look at here, there's a little juice. So, fight not to go to the distance. Fight not to go to the distance, minus 188, 200, depending where you can shop around and get it. Just because of Moraes' tank. I don't see him lasting 5 rounds. I don't see either guy going 5 here. I think it maybe ends, in the 3rd or 4th round on whoever you like. So you may want to look at the prop of to finish, whoever you like. Take the finish. That's going to be my play here. I don't think they're going to play conservative. I think they're going to go for the knockout. Moraes has that power. Marlon's going to look for it. And, Sandhagen can pull off a submission. He can win on the feet. He has many ways to win here. So let's take a look at that. I haven't bet it as of yet. I always do send out my plays to subscribers after weigh-ins. But I would look that way, fight not to go to the distance, minus 108, 200. Next fight here, co-main. Edson Barboza is back versus Americani. Plus 220 for Americani. You can get Barboza at minus 275, minus 250, depending where you're shopping. Barboza's coming off that tough decision loss to Dan Ige. I thought he could have won that fight. Most people did as well. But it was a close fight. Don't leave it to the judges, right? Barboza looked good moving down division. Some people were worried he may look a little sick or too lean, but he looked great. I think he'll come out strong here, guys. Barboza is a much better striker here. Americani only chance to win, in my opinion, is to wrestle and grapple here. That's his only chance. Barboza has been in there with the best as well. Like, look at if you compare who these guys fought, it's strikingly different, right? Gaethje, Hooker, Khabib, Ferguson. Yes, he has losses to these guys. He did beat Hooker, which was impressive, but he has losses to the best of the best, right? Americani, we're not going to even go over who he fought. It's not even comparable. He lost 3 in a row, Barboza, yes. However, this is a big step down in competition, and I just think he gets through Americani. He also isn't known for his gas tank, Americani. We know Barboza will be able to go 3, no problem if it goes 3. He mostly fights the decisions, Barboza. I can't be on a prop here of how the fight's going to end just because, I would lean decision Barboza. But, Barboza could end this quick with some leg kicks or some striking if Americani decides to stand up with him. If Americani doesn't stand up with him, that's his only way of winning. He could grapple and just hold them down and wrestle, but I think Barboza's defense is good enough to avoid that. So I would look at Barboza here, maybe throw it in a 2-fight parlay. It's not something I bet as of yet, but that's the only way I can look in this one. Let's go to the 2 heavyweights here. Ben Rothwell, minus 170. versus Tabora. Plus 140, some value there. I just don't love betting these heavyweight fights, guys, to be honest. Rothwell is a favorite for a reason. He does have some big wins over OSP, Struve recently, back-to-back, but did lose 3 in a row before that, right? Tabora, he is a smaller guy. He'll be a lot smaller guy in there, however, much faster. Tabora doesn't have the resume like Rothwell. It's not a fight that I'm going to be invested in. I do lean Rothwell to win the fight, but it isn't something I'm going to invest in. Rothwell, risky bet, right? So slow, this guy. He's hard to judge. He's not worth risking, in my opinion, or even putting him in a parlay. I think it's a little bit of a risk. I try to avoid these mid-tier heavyweight fights because anyone can get KO'd and anything can happen. Just like the main event last week, right? Anything could happen in that fight. I stayed away. I told you guys to pass, and the underdog won in that one. So that's what I'm kind of suggesting here. If I did, it would be Rothwell to win the fight, but it's not something I'm going to be involved in. I suggest you don't either. Next fight here, Marcus Perez, entertaining guy, plus 130 versus Derrick de Pelusis, minus 160. I obviously butchered that name, but I usually do with these names, so nothing new. This guy, I think it's going to be a sneaky good fight, guys. Could be a fun one, in my opinion. Both guys have fairly good records. Now, Derrick, this is his first fight in the UFC, making his debut, but he's a big name and star over in South Africa. He does have a 14-2 record, and there is some hype around this guy's name. I went back and watched some of his fights to find out a bit more of this guy. And he does have some power. He can strike. He'll get some knockouts, but he also could go to decision. Why I think this could go to decision? Because Perez, right? Yes, Derrick does have some submissions on his record with some KOs as well, like I said, but Perez very durable. Perez is he's just more of an all-over-the-place type of fighter, hard to cap, hard to go against or go with, in my opinion. He'll try to look to take down the South African for sure, is my opinion here. But I think he'll be the stronger guy, even though he's going down a division. I do think Perez will just be looking for the takedown non-stop. And he has the gas tank to do it. Hopefully he comes out with that Joker mask like he always does. It's pretty funny. He gets really into it. He gets emotional. But facing the South African, I think he has the better striking. It's a lot more superior than Perez's striking. In his debut, that's the only thing, right? Versus a wild, unpredictable guy. So I haven't bet this as of yet, but I would be looking at the South African. I'm not going to be laying the minus 160 with a debut fighter against a tough Perez. So there's definitely some value at decision. You may want to look at the decision just because I think Perez is tough and he'll be hard to finish. So if you're on this, I wouldn't suggest to put in a parlay. I would suggest to go all out and try to win it by decision with the South African. Next fight here, Zozolo. He's back. This is like his 4th fight already this year. Crazy. He's capitalizing on this, and I suggest a lot of young fighters to do this as well. Don't be scared to get that loss on the record. Have more fights. Get the experience. Zozolo minus 188 versus Tapori plus 162. This is it's a scary one as well. I like Tapori 8-0. Watch some of his fights. It looks good. Georgian fighter. What's his name? Deserlishvili. The Deserlishvili guy, the other Georgian fighter, bigging him up in some interviews. Zozolo seems to be... he's 10-2 in his MMA career. Like I said, 4 times he's fought during this COVID. They weren't perfect fights, but he did enough to win. Couple brawls that he was able to stay up. He looks like he's fairly well-rounded, in my opinion. He's been active, like I mentioned. His opponent Black belt in jiu-jitsu. Seems like he can strike as well, from what I've seen on tape. I think this is going to be a close fight, guys. Very close fight. I don't like this minus 188 price tag. The value here would be with the underdog. I haven't pulled the trigger as of yet, but in a value bet circumstance, I would lean to the underdog. He is getting bigged up a lot from fighters. I watch his tape. He has looked good. It's going to be a good fight in my opinion. Close, hard fought fight. He does have some power, Tapori. He could knock out Zozolo. So it's not a fight I'm going to be involved in, but I would look at the underdog here. Last fight on the main card, I'm not going to even really talk much about. Tom Espinal wins this fight, no problem. Minus 500, stay off it in my opinion. Look out the KO numbers. I haven't have a KO number out as yet. But look around, shop around if you want to do it. Look at the KO. Premium, I'm going to leave you guys with the prelim fight that I like, and that should be a good one. I think it should be a little higher up on the card here. We got the Georgian fighter Chikadze versus Moraes. Moraes minus 140. I like Moraes. I like his last fight. Very entertaining guy. He will leg kick the shit out of you. He likes to kickbox, Muay Thai. Great entertaining fighter. I think this should be a fun fight, guys. Should be higher on the card, like I mentioned. I expect this fight to be very competitive. Moraes 10-0. Yes, 10-0. But he's older, guys. He's a 10-0 fighter, and he's like 35 or 36. He'll look to stay undefeated in the octagon. And I think he does. This should be a striking battle. Both guys are known for their striking. Moraes is coming down a weight class here, so he's going to be the lot stronger guy. Is it going to affect him? That's the question. The cut. I'm sure he fought before, and not in the UFC though, but I'm sure he's fought before going down the weight class. He's just going to look a lot bigger and stronger there, in my opinion. Both guys fight to decisions. You know, price tells you that as well. Decision, this fight to go to decision minus 200. So we're not going to be on that. I lean Moraes here in this fight. He should get it done. He could also use some ground game here if the striking is really close. Look for him to maybe take the Georgian down if there is a very close, or if he's for some reason struggling on the feet. With his style, the Georgian fighter style, it is a little unorthodox. So look for him to maybe mix in some ground game, but I think it will stay on the feet for the most part. I think Moraes could edge him out in points and work that lead leg. So I will be looking at Moraes here, minus 140. You don't want to lay that juice. It could be your parlay piece. All right, guys, that will do it. Those are the fights that I'll go over. Pretty decent card, a little better than last week's, but we may have some fun fights here. So definitely we'll be watching this one. I watch all the cards anyways, guys. And yeah, like I said, guys, check out my website, systemsportscapping.com, for more information. Updated records every day. All emails get sent with plays and reason and why I like it. Full breakdowns on either if it's a fight or if it's a game gets sent to your email each day. All right, guys, enjoy this card. We got another good card. We got the Korean Zombie next week. Versus Ortega. That fight is finally happening, hopefully. And then we got the pay-per-view right after that. So it's going to be fun. Enjoy the fights. Like I always say, bet smart and know your limits. Take care.